what is he going up there for? So he's traded to 9.
So he's gone from 10 to 9. So it's a one, but you got to wonder, what are they doing that they need to leapfrog Chicago for?
Look, I think they're looking for an O-lineman. I don't. I mean, they have such a great O-line. I don't know what they would be doing that unless they know someone's going to move up there and they've got some inside information and they can say, okay, we don't need an O-lineman. Of course, they have a great offensive line, but instead of going up for a lineman to take that spot, someone's going to potentially trade up and potentially take, a guy like Jalen Carter, and they're like, let's roll with Jalen Carter and let's make this move. And that's fun. That's going to be a fun pick for them. And I think they are one of the organizations that have, again, just the foundation that they can build with him and work with him. They will keep them in order. Back to what I was saying before, right? Howie Roseman, how that building is, they're going to be on top of him and keeping him in order. They've checked the box where they're saying, we've looked at the personality and character stuff. It's something to be reckoned with, but we're ready to go. Howie's reached out to Jeffrey Lurie. He's like, Jeffrey, are you good with this? Is your head coach good with it? Of course he is. And let's move forward. Yeah,
for sure. And Ryan Poles now trades back twice in the same draft, sort of trying to pick up picks. It'll be interesting to see what going up from 10 to 9 was worth for Philly. But this is a team. Last year they traded up for Jordan Davis, the big nose tackle. Now they're trading up for their under tackle, their three tech. They have guys like Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, Hassan Reddick, guys like that on the outside. Their run defense was suspect at times last year. And especially, they had to go out and get Ndamukong Suh. They had to go out and get Linval Joseph. Like, this is a guy that fills the need for them immediately. And they're a team that, fabulous roster last year. But as it had building two teams that made it to the NFC title game. They poach your players, right? And those players leave and they get better deals elsewhere. And so even though I think Philadelphia has a great starting 22, the depth needed to be there. And Jalen Carter comes in and fortifies the depth along the line.
Look, you don't get a D lineman like this, an interior D lineman that comes along every day, right? He's big, he's strong, he's fast. He can rush the passer. He's not just a guy that's holding the gap, and holding the point. He's not just a one gap dude. He's a dude. He's not just a two gap either. I mean, he's got the versatility to be both, of course. He can penetrate. He can make plays behind the line of scrimmage. He can also rush the passer. And again, I think you look at Philly, they're getting a little bit old from the pass rush, but the pass rush isn't always on the outside, right? They rotate their guys pretty darn well, I think. Bring another guy like this inside and grow with him. I think it's a really cool
Fletcher
pick for
Cox
him.
getting up there in age, to your point, and a very, very important pick here for them.
Does Philly trade out of there if possible?
Yeah. Maybe. So Philly took Jalen Carter early in the draft. That's a pick we lauded at the time. They moved up one spot with Chicago. Okay. They go D-line again, Thomas.
Wow.
Nolan Smith.
Good for them.
This is their roots, though, right? This has always been Philly back, right?
Yeah.
This has been back to Jim Johnson. This is a
great pick here.
This is back to Jim Johnson, where you had Javon Kearse was the year they won. They made the Super Bowl with Andy. You kind of go like Trent Cole and all the way until you get to now where they're just stacked there, right?
But they have age there and they're rotating well. We were talking about it earlier. I agree with you. Nolan Smith, look, I want another laud here. Howie Roseman reaches out. We've already listened to Howie talk, and he's a very opinionated and strong-willed guy who's a really good guy and a smart guy. He brings around people like Matt Russell, former assistant general manager at the Denver Broncos, who is one of the best evaluators in this league, and Dave Caldwell, former general manager of Jacksonville, another really, really good evaluator. He's got those two guys in his quiver telling him, this guy is a guy that we need here who can get up and around. He was a 4.38 guy.
Yeah.
I know he's not big. He's had a little bit of injury stuff. They have a good setup. Just understand this. When people like that have some injuries to them and they've been off a little bit, I heard Michael Lombardi talking about Nolan, how he's always off with a hoodie. And I'm like, if you have a sports performance group and Philly has spent money on them, they've spent I think $1 million on 2 different guys, separate guys, and to build that, they know that they have people that can keep people healthy, at least ostensibly. And so I think this is a really good, smart pick for them.
Great analytics group, by the way, too. One of my former interns, Zach Drapkin, I just want to give him a shout out. Alec Hallaby, the assistant GM, one of the few assistant GMs in the NFL who is an analytics guy as well. Just again, like there's a lot that goes into building 2 Super Bowl teams in the span of half a decade.